what's going on, guys? This is NukiN and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Make videos all the time about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Today we're going to be covering really quickly, it's lunchtime. This video is going live in less than 30 minutes from now. Hopefully, if it's not late, I'm always late on these. This is going to be my kit reveal of B1 Battle Droid. This is the kit unveiling. We're going to review the kit together, a little commentary, a little bit of speculating, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed the video. If you do, like, share, and also make sure that you stay tuned because I'm going to be doing another video on the command shuttle, which is also coming out later today, so be sure to check that out. Let's get right into the B1 Battle Droid. And here he is, B1 Battle Droid. So he is a dark side droid separatist attacker. He has a basic ability, 1 special, and 2 unique. So this is going to be a very interesting character because usually you see these guys by the hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands in the Clone Wars. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether CG was able to sort of mimic the army effect of the B1 Battle Droid with just one character. I have some thoughts. I haven't looked at the kit quite yet. We're going to go over it together for the first time. So we're going to go over the basic and the specials and the uniques and look at some gameplay, and then I'll give you some thoughts as well. Let's get started with the basic attack. So now let's dive right into B1's kit, starting off with his basic attack. So his basic ability is called B1 Barrage, and it deals physical damage to a single target. So he's a physical damage dealing attacker. Now it has a conditional here. If that target was target locked, all droid allies are going to recover 5% of their leader's max health and protection. So that could be a sizable chunk depending on who that is. Also, it's nice that an attacker has some supporting capabilities. Let's go into his special ability, which is called Blast Him. Now, this is an interesting special ability because it has a cooldown of 0. Blast Him deals physical damage to all enemies, so it's an AoE attack, and then you're going to inflict target lock for 2 turns on the enemy that you have selected with your cursor, which is going to synergize with his basic, and other droids have target lock as well. You're also going to gain 1 stack of Droid Battalion, which we'll cover in just a second, for each other separatist ally, and then you're going to, on top of that, heal those separatist allies for a percentage of health and protection for each stack of Droid Battalion. So that's going to be about 0.5% per stack. But don't worry, that doesn't sound like a lot because this guy can get a lot of stacks of Droid Battalion. And specifically Droid Battalion, what it does is for each stack of Droid Battalion, B1 is going to gain 2% offense. So he's going to hit a lot harder, and then all separatist allies are going to gain 0.5% tenacity and critical avoidance. Again, that seems like a small percentage, even the offense a little bit, but you can get double digits of this thing, if not maybe even triple digits of Droid Battalion. So now that we covered the basic attack, the special, and the new Droid Battalion mechanic, this is what B1 looks like in the game. This is his model. It'll be interesting to see like if this feels like you're commanding an army of B1 battle droids. We're going to go over the 2 uniques because he does have 2 uniques, and then we'll take a look at the rest of this gameplay that I was provided. And on top of that, we're going to also give a little bit of commentary at the end and maybe ask some questions. So real fast to run through his 2 uniques. Roger is the first one. Whenever a separatist ally uses any ability that includes a basic attack, B1 is going to assist them, dealing 40% less damage. You can only do this limited once per turn, but droids are going to have a lot of ability capability that can also include the basic attack, and with a bunch of Droid Battalion and the stacking offense, plus he's an attacker, it should do a decent amount of damage. Also, when droid allies use a special ability, so this is specifically for just droids, B1 gains 15% turn meter, so he's going to get to go quite often as well. So that's going to be quite interesting. His second unique is called Droid Battalion. Now the second unique is quite longer and a little bit more complicated. So B1 has no protection and has only 1 health. That's right, only 1 health. So anything that touches this guy, he's just gonna fall over and die. But not so fast. While he has stacks of Droid Battalion, which he starts with 20 stacks at the beginning of the battle, and he can quickly gain stacks, he cannot be defeated, although he cannot be revived. Also, if you're wondering about Annihilate, that's not going to get rid of all of the Droid Battalion stacks, just some of the stacks will be reduced, so he's going to be a good target to absorb Annihilate. And on top of that, he cannot score critical hits and he cannot be revived, so no revive mechanics with Droid Battalion and the B1. Now when B1 takes damage, he's going to basically die, right? So when he's revived or comes a new B1 replaces him, he's not going to have any debuffs that were on top of him, so that's good, and he's going to lose 8 stacks of Droid Battalion when he dies. On top of gaining Droid Battalion through other measures and mechanics, he's going to, at the start of his turn, gain 3 stacks at the beginning of each of his turns. So now that we reviewed those 2 uniques, let's take a look at some of this gameplay. Now this is some content that was provided to me because the test accounts are still down. I don't have access to the test accounts, so this is provided footage from Capital Games, and you can see here that the this is not the optimal team, that's definitely for sure. And on top of this, we do not have access to the B2, we don't have access to the footage of the B2 Super Battle Droid rework, which I chose specifically not to make a video on for 2 reasons. We didn't have the footage, and the rework isn't incredibly impressive from my skimming of the kit, so don't worry about that. It seems like Grievous is going to be a key player, and B1 seems like he's going to be a key player in this new sort of separatist droid hybrid team that's kind of being created. Don't have access to Grievous footage or kit quite yet. I think that's coming very soon, probably later this month, so he's probably going to be a very big piece. But I think that on top of that, B2 might not make the cut potentially. We'll have to see. So on top of that, we're going to have also Droid Eka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's another character that we don't have footage or a kit for. So I'm contemplating that, or I'm speculating that that other droid may be a key contender or a key player to making this sort of team viable. It follows the same sort of strategy, or I should say historical trend, from the Sith marquee characters like the Sith Trooper and the Sith Assassin and Nihilus when they came out in February a year or 2 ago. And so I think that's kind of be the same sort of case here, where you have the droids and the separatists getting better, but the sort of meta-ish arena viable, maybe TW Grand Arena viable team is going to rely on maybe some of the newer characters like B1. B1 seems quite strong because he's an attacker, like I said earlier while we were reviewing the kit, that not only can get a bunch of offense stacking and start hitting quite hard and doing a bunch of assist attacks, so having sustained DPS, you can also see that the stacks here are up to 92, so it'll be interesting to see how many stacks you can get up to. Can you get into those triple digits? And right now, if you synergize those stacks with the current Grievous leadership, there is, I think, some anti-critical sort of mechanics there, and so I think there's crit avoidance, or at least there's like a less % chance for them to crit, and then I think that'll stack or work well with critical avoidance. So that could be interesting. Maybe the droids just won't be able to be crit or something like that in the near future when you stack those 2 sort of mechanics, so that'll be interesting. Now I don't think that there's enough damage output for B1 alone to carry the team damage wise, so Grievous is going to definitely be interesting to see what his rework is going to look like, or how much damage or what type of character the Droid Eka character will be. So far I'm liking B1. It seems cool that he assists a lot, and he's calling those 2 droids behind him when he uses his special, and he has like the tank firing in the background, so it kind of feels like you're commanding a droid army. What do you guys think of this character? Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I make videos all the time about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Cheers.